Concerns over the ballooning wage bill headlined the third annual wage bill conference in April this year. The theme during the conference geared towards 35% wage bill to revenue ratio.
Economy that this country has.
4 months down the line, the Salaries and Remuneration Commission chairperson Lyn Mengich has called for the full implementation of the resolutions made during the conference.
Full implementation of the third wage bill conference resolutions. This is so critical in order to achieve the target of not more than 35% wage bill to revenue ratio. It can only be implemented in full collaboration of the stakeholders that were identified during the National Wage Bill Conference. But we also see employee numbers growing in areas where it is not adding value the way it should. In other words, there are many areas to do with employee numbers that speaks to optimal staffing levels. Do we have optimal staffing levels?
Mengich, whose tenure alongside her commissioners elapses next month, highlighted the commission's achievements in the last 6 years. However, she raised concerns over payroll issues.
Leveraging technologies in 3 areas. One is payroll controls, and I'm happy that there is a resolution from the Wage Bill Conference, and you will see that in our end of term report around the payroll controls, why it's important. There is a lot of wastage that happens in the payroll today in Kenya, and that needs to be addressed urgently.
Improving labor productivity being one of the ways to achieve the set wage bill target, the SRC chairperson expressed her disappointment with the country's labor productivity.
That in Africa, Kenya was 26 out of 55, globally 153 out of 189. Those statistics don't speak very well for a country that has very good talent. We know that Kenya is ranked highly in terms of the quality of talent that it produces. So we've got very good talent in Kenya. So the question is, why is our labor productivity low? And if our labor productivity was high, then the country stands to benefit a lot more.
Saving up to 11.2 billion shillings by slashing allowances, including plenary allowances for legislators, being one of their major wins, Mengich has called for more streamlining, calling on the next set of commissioners to remain steadfast.
Streamlining allowances in the public service, that is the responsibility of the Commission in collaboration with other stakeholders. It is also something that the Commission must continue to focus on. So in 2021, SRC commenced a phased approach to streamlining management and administration of allowances. An estimated saving of 11.2 billion was realized between the financial year 2020-21 and 2023. The Commission received requests for advice amounting to 150.89 billion. The requests approved through SRC's advice reduced the amount to a low of 45.1 billion, hence releasing 1.57 billion to other key government priorities.
Ian Keitani, K24 TV, Nairobi.